take us away.
Alright, hey guys, so I'm going to take you inside because I'm the one that sorted out the inside and Laurie doesn't know where anything lives inside, so come with me. Alright, so the first thing I'll show you is, thanks to the tip Big Oz, because we watched their episode the other week, is we put a little bit, well I shouldn't say we because it was Laurie and my dad, put some sticky foam.
It's not going to focus on it.
Just here, around the door frame. We found when we were doing some of the really dusty tracks that a little bit of dust was coming in the door, mostly down the bottom and up on the corner here. So we got the thicker stuff, so time will tell whether that works or not, so we'll just have to wait and see. One that we use.
Just a Cono seal. 2.5 meters is about $3 or $4, and it's 2.5 meters and up to 12 mil.
Yeah.
So she's pretty thick, but obviously squishes down.
So this says for gaps 3 to 12 mil. It's got a thing on the back that helps you decide which ones you need.
Yeah.
So yeah, for
just at Bunnings.
All right, come inside with me. All right, no, I'll just.
Oh, the steps.
So, our little mat, again, people rave about muck mats. We don't have that kind of money at the moment. So we just bought a little bit of flooring from, I think it was Mitre 10, and we cut it up. So we've got a little bit there and a little bit in front of the bathroom.
Just lift the corner up. It's just like rubber back.
It's just like a doormat.
Yeah,
that
we cut up.
Oh, I need to vacuum under there. Alright, so the first thing that I usually do when we come inside is pop the roof. So we've already unlatched it. Laurie will just show you. So
it's just really 4 of those little latches. 1 on each corner.
Yeah. So all it is, it's really, really simple. And it lifts up on its own. And then you just do the same to the other side. Ta-da! And then there's 2 little silver latches. Just going like that. Just be careful if you're a klutz like me. I've squished my fingers in these so many times and it really hurts. So just be careful of that. Alright, so I'll start with at the front. So this is just a little hangy thing that we got from IKEA. It just holds the stuff that we use all the time. So the top one usually holds our deodorant, my moisturizer, the things that we use every day. This one is Mozzie coils and some Bushmans. I'm going to say some natural Bushmans for Blake.
Just stuff you want to grab while you're outside.
Yeah.
You don't want to be climbing through.
Sun cream.
Some sun cream and a torch.
Yeah. So the stuff that you need really easy access to. This is the mod from the famous little incident the other day where the awning started coming out when Laurie was on the highway. So Laurie and my dad just got a bit of Perspex from Bunnings, a couple of hinges,
and a little bit of double-sided
and a little
Velcro.
bit of little Velcro, and we have a little Perspex cover.
That's our instrument panel. So you get your radio, you get your fresh water, your grey water, a big isolator switch so you know that's turned off, you've got no power to anything. All your little circuit breakers plus your battery voltage and the amps you're using, and just switches for everything else. And there's the awning, which is just on a rocker switch. And that's a little light that you can turn on if you... Can you turn on floor light right now? There. And we blacked it out because it's too
really
bright inside.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's really good because
fire extinguisher, so you can grab it from inside and outside. Sorry. Continue.
I was going to say that's really good because Blake's getting to the age where she's wanting to push buttons, so we didn't really want her to be playing with buttons and everything. And then after the incident with the awning the other day on the highway, we didn't want that happening again, so really good. These 2 little cupboards, we just use
jam,
some chocolate and chips and our coffee making stuff, which we have showed you before. Yeah. And my Yeti. Oh, we need to find your Yeti too.
Yep.
And on this side is basically the same, just more biscuits and some Tupperware that we need to use.
Just more storage.
Yeah.
And one of the good things and one of the reasons it sold us on this van is all the shelving is aluminium. So it's aluminium frame, I don't know the composite make of the outside, but then all the shelving and everything internal is aluminium.
So it's nice and light.
Yeah, nice and light, and also it stops the wood rot.
Yeah. Come inside. So we fell out the door. So Laurie said before when he was going through the tunnel boot that you can actually get access to them from inside. So these are little cupboards where you can get access to it. So
as you can see, toaster, a little bit of stuff. It's pretty dark in there, but hey, shoes and whatever.
You can turn lights on in there.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we probably should have done. Anyway, yeah, so they're just little push button mechanisms. Nice and easy. We only have one that's a little bit dicky that the drawer comes out, so it's not too bad. This is our kind of bathroom storage, I suppose you could call it. I've got one more box that needs to go in here that's in the actual bathroom. This is just our little sink, so it comes out. Toothbrush, toothpaste holder, little tap.
Great little idea for in the morning. You don't want to go outside to brush your teeth or sort of do anything else. Just splash some water on your face. A really good idea having the sink inside.
Yeah, it's just very convenient. This is where we store the cleaning stuff, toilet paper, all the random bits and pieces of crap that you need somewhere to go. These little grey tubs are amazing. They're from IKEA. They're just made out of material. So they're super, super light. And they're really good sizes. They fit in there perfectly.
And they're packed down flat.
Yeah, they're packed down completely flat. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of storage under there as well. It's a little bit messy at the moment because it's not completely packed because we leave tomorrow morning. So
yeah, toiletries obviously the last thing that goes in there.
Yeah. Another 2 drawers down the bottom.
They're really big. They're deceptively big.
Deceptively big. So we have 3 tessellate towels and 4 tea towels in that one, and I can still probably fit more in it. And then this one, I bought a little nightlight. Oh my god. UE room and some games and some cards. So yeah, again, lots of storage. Towel hooks. I know everyone bangs on about the Fusion locks. They're expensive. These are the $20 Big W versions. And
haven't failed
yet. So they're really, really good. And then these are just towels from IKEA. So I wanted some microfiber towels that would dry a bit quicker. These are half cotton, half microfiber. And this one for Blake is completely microfiber. $8. No, not even. I think it was $5.
Yeah, nice.
Really good. In our shower and toilet, that was probably really close.
Yeah.
This is one of the mods that Laurie just did. I hate not having a mirror in here. So, full length mirror so you can see yourself, as you can see Laurie right now.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Fatford Toilet.
So just your sort of
toilet
and shower combo, really.
This was a big game changer for me. I hated in the hybrids where the shower head was here.
It ended there, so you had to hold the thing up. And
so it has just a little thingy that slots in there and it holds the shower head above your head. So when you're washing your hair, which isn't really an issue for men, but for women, if you're washing your hair, you don't have to do it one-handed. It's amazing. So good. Obviously we have Blake's bath sits in here, so it's just some toys for Blake.
Baby toys.
Again, I know everyone bangs on about the Fusion locks, but these are toiletries. These are from Howard Storage World. They're just rubber.
Just like a silicone mix.
Yeah. They
come in all different shapes, sizes. You get mirrors. They all come with that sort of beveled edge, and you can make it look all fancy.
Yeah, so they're really good. I wanted another one, but we didn't get there in time. They do self-adhese to tiled surface or glass, but this one it didn't, so Laurie just siliconed it on, which means they are a permanent fixture, but everyone's going to want storage when you're in a van.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's nice and slimline, and it doesn't take up any room.
Yeah. The reason that I liked
when we eventually sell it.
Yeah. The reason that I liked these better than the Fusion locks is because I've seen people with the Fusion locks and they still have to lay their bottles down. I didn't want to have to lay the bottles down because that's just another step when you've got a baby and you're packing up everything. I didn't want to have to bugger around with that. This one, we have not had a single thing fall out of it.
Nope.
And I usually have my body wash, shaving cream, face cream, everything that you can imagine. It is there. Another Big W Special Fusion lock just for the toilet paper.
Get out of it.
So it's in there. Again, that has never fallen off. We don't take the toilet paper out when we're on the road. We've never had the toilet paper unravel. We might just be lucky, but hey, the work's folded out. We don't have our pillows or doona or anything on yet because we've still got another night. Another mod that Laurie and my dad did was installing a baby gate. So I don't think we brought you guys in here when we had the cot up, but believe it or not, we had a porta cot in a 13-foot van.
It was fun.
It came out to about here. So we had this much room. And it just wasn't working. So we scratched that idea. The bed is a huge king-size bed. It's massive.
It's technically a queen, but it's an oversized queen.
It's an oversized queen, which is big enough for the 3 of us. Blake's tiny.
Can you please address the elephant in the room? we have an Ascent 13B. Why did we have a porta cot, and why do we have a baby gate?
Yep.
What is the big thing behind your head?
This is a bunk. So there was 2 of these.
One either side.
One either side. We drilled this one out.
There was lots and lots and lots of pop rivets.
The reason being is that A, at the moment we really don't need any bunks at the moment. B, with both bunks down, the other bunk came to about here, and then we put a porta cot in, so we made it even tighter, but it was like really tight. We kept this one in because it's really good for storage.
Yeah.
Not that we need heaps of storage, but when you come in here and you've got the camera bag, or you've got the baby bag, or you want to get rid of a blanket or something, you just chuck it up here. It's nice and easy, and it just folds up when we don't use it.
It basically lives folded down, and we put things like laundry basket and other things up on top of there. So we could theoretically get rid of it, but one day Blake also might go up there. We've just got to figure out, can you slide that down again? Yeah. And we've seen some people go, again, Big Oz, go and get sort of canvas made up as like a bit of a screen, but we don't know how that will go attaching to the roof. We don't really feel comfortable drilling into the roof. Yeah. So that's kind of why we had the porta cot. We couldn't find any way. Now, these do come with a hospital rail, but a hospital rail is not going to keep a baby, and she just will find any hole to scrawl out to crawl out of. Yeah. And so until we can either think of a way to enclose something up there, so if anybody has any ideas,
let us know.
We would be all ears. Yeah. She doesn't need the full bunk, maybe even half of it, and the half over the bed, so if she does fall out, it'd be a bit softer.
She's on the bed, yeah.
That'd be cool. But realistically, it's only in there because one day she will get old enough and we'll throw her up there, or we'll throw her outside in a swag. Yeah. So that's why we bought the bunk, was to eventually have Blake be able to have her in bed. Hindsight is a great thing, and it's something we didn't know until we owned a van. Exactly. Was we would have, you step up to the 15 foot and you get the bunks in the tunnel boot. Yeah. Or some 13 foots, like I know the MDC has the bunks in the tunnel boot. You do lose a lot of storage, but I think it's easier to close a kid off, it's safer. They're not so elevated. Yeah, and they're kind of out of the way too, because we find that once Blake goes to sleep, obviously we can't be in here making noise and having lights on because she'll wake up. So we have to kind of spend the rest of our night outside until we're ready to go to bed, which, 98% of the time isn't a problem. When it's pouring down rain, that's a problem. So having the bunks at the front means that not only can you more safely kind of enclose it, but you can also put curtains and things on it to stop. Blake's a pretty good sleeper, so she would sleep in there if we were still watching TV or doing... Yeah. At the moment she's just in the bed with us. So this, the baby gate, I didn't actually explain it. So this is just a retractable baby gate. It's new. And that just slides all the way across.
And it hooks into here, and there's one down the bottom too.
Yeah, got a little hook in.
I will show you what we do to watch TV. So, I can't remember who we got this idea from.
I can.
Was it while touring?
It was while touring. Okay. This video is full of YouTube shout-outs.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We love our YouTube. We don't watch normal TV, we only stream, but 90% of the things I watch are YouTube.
Yeah. So
Cam,
thank you very much for this little tip. So we just have a little HDMI cord and then a plug. We have one for an adapter. We have one for my phone and my iPad, and we have one for Laura's phone because I have the Lightning adapter for an Apple and Laura has the USB-C for an Android.
Android is life.
Apple's
better.
The devil. Apple's better.
It's a constant argument in this household.
So that's all we do to watch TV. We just stream it and plug it in.
All it does is mirror your screen. So you just work off your cellular data, or if you've downloaded anything. So you don't need a smart TV. You don't need anything. Any TV that has a HDMI port is amazing. Yeah.
So eventually we'll upgrade to a smart TV, but for the meantime, does the trick.
The only issue we have with that is your phone's attached to the cord, and Blake likes grabbing your phone and trying to do things on your phone, so she'll walk away with it and then you can't see the TV. Yeah. Or she bends the adapters. We've gone through one Apple one already. And the Apple one's the expensive one.
Yeah. Oopsies. So there's a little window there, big window there. You've seen Blake's head pop out of that window. That's her favourite window because it overlooks the kitchen and she loves to watch Dad cook. And then there's a window at the bed head as well.
The scratched window.
Yeah, the scratched window. There is also little storage pockets next to the bed, which we keep like the little extensions in. I keep a lip gloss, a Ventolin. You might notice these little holes here. There was a little fan here. We drilled that out, and we have clip-on fans now. Do you remember what?
Road Tech Marine.
I think they're companion.
Yeah, companion ones.
Okay, so next thing I'll show you guys is where we keep our clothes. So this little cupboard here is our clothes. We have an extra set of sheets and an extra doona cover, just because I found that last time one set of sheets wasn't enough. So I have my shelf and Laurie has his shelf. Again, these are from IKEA. So I just fold my shirts up and slot them in there, and then the other side has my shorts. These are my shorts, and it just makes storage of clothes so much easier. And Laurie's is the same. This is Blake's side, so a lot of her shirts I usually hang. I haven't done that yet because I've been lazy. So her clothes are just in a couple of these little boxes, and I usually hang her shirts. And then there's some spare nappies. So this is actually quite a big cupboard. It's got lots of room.
Put your arm in, show how far back it goes.
So I'm touching the back wall now.
Yeah.
So this has 2 of these squares deep. It can fit. And then I've gotten it, you could probably fit them 3 up, I reckon, if this hanging thing wasn't here. So it's quite big. Yeah. So that's where we have our clothes. And then we have drawers. It's my pajamas and my undies and my socks. And then this is Blake's nappies, some spew rags, and her socks and swimmers.
You know what's great about this? I'm learning where everything is.
This is the only drawer that's a bit dicky, so sometimes when you put it in, it doesn't clip in, so you kind of got to slam it shut. But I'm sure it's a simple fix, we just haven't fixed it. And then down the bottom...
The only 2 that aren't drawers.
Shoes.
Yeah.
So, and there's also the piping for the hot water and stuff down there as well. So yeah, there is also... This is our dirty clothes basket. Usually gets left up there. There is also storage underneath the couch, under there. We just put the random stuff that we don't use very often under there, and we do have a backing for the couch as well. We just don't have it on there at the moment. So yeah, I think that's about it for inside.
One thing you might have noticed, guys, is our roof is pretty bare. We got sort of 2 lights and that's it.
Yep.
Now it wasn't Altitude's fault, wasn't our fault. We didn't know.
It just happened.
We went in and we were looking for a van fairly fast because we didn't have a house.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're all probably aware, there's a long wait time on any sort of vans.
Yeah.
We were in multiple different companies harassing, how fast can I get a van? Altitude Campers said they had one of these, we liked it, and it was going to be 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We said, okay, it had the options, everything we wanted. Had the aircons, had everything.
Yeah.
We said, lock her in, Eddie, that's us.
Yep. So basically someone ordered the van, had all the specs and options that we basically wanted, and then their finance fell through. So Altitude had this van that they couldn't sell anymore, and it just so happened that it was the one that we wanted. So we lucked out. Some other poor bugger didn't because their finance fell through, but we lucked out so we could get it. What we didn't realise, and what Altitude obviously didn't realise either, was that they had optioned the aircon to be under the bed.
Well, Altitude realised that it was just, I guess it was a miscommunication on our behalf and their behalf. We just assumed it would go on the roof.
Yeah.
And they just assumed we knew it was going under the bed.
Yeah.
Hindsight, we wouldn't have put it under the bed. You lose underbed storage.
Yeah.
Yes, you gain a little bit of, you don't have as much stuff on your roof, so it's weight down low. Is also, you're not as tall. But
you lose quite a lot of underbed
also,
storage.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh! We just found that out. Anyway, you lose a heap of underbed storage, and also you can see these vents, they blow the aircon that way, which nobody sleeps or sits or does anything that way.
So we found that when we
to warm the little box up at the back,
it was freezing.
It takes a long time, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same on the cooling.
Yeah, so the underbed box, it probably comes out to about here. So it's basically that entire space. It's big.
I'd love to be able to show you.
And the batteries are here.
Yeah.
So you got
Three
100 AGM batteries.
3 100 amp hour AGM batteries. Well done.
And then there's also a 2000 watt pure sine inverter.
Yes. This van didn't come with a DC to DC charger. We haven't found a need for it yet.
Yeah.
It does come. It comes wired with an Anderson plug that we just charge off the alternator, but it's not, obviously the amperage isn't ramped up.
Yeah.
But also we have 300 watts of solar on the roof, and we haven't had any issues yet.
One thing that we don't particularly like is that it has all these 240 volt outlets, but we can't use them unless we're plugged into power.
It's one of my gripes. You turn the inverter on, there should be an inverter on switch, and then all your power points come to life.
But it doesn't. We can get it wired that way, but it doesn't come standard that way.
Yeah.
Again, it's such a minor thing.
It's something we didn't realise. I thought if you had an inverter on your van, and when you turned it on, all your power points got power.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's not.
But that's okay. One thing I'll show you too with the bed, some people have issues folding and sliding and things like that. All I have done is I got 2 single mattress protectors, again from IKEA. IKEA's amazing. I have a mattress protector on the top and the bottom one. I fold this one over and push it as far as it can go. This is a huge mattress topper. Most people probably don't have a mattress topper that big. And then all you do...
It's the best mattress topper ever, though.
So comfortable. Then you just grab the mattress protector on the bottom mattress and slide it forward.
Oh my god, that looks dangerous.
Done.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally how easy it is to pack the bed up. Some people have... Well, there's multiple ways of doing it. So many ways of doing it. I've just found that is the easiest way for us. And I have a really bad back, and that is really easy for me to slide.
We also sleep north-south. We don't sleep. So yes, there is that we sleep with the mattress, the 2 mattresses between them on our butts. But the mattress protector is that thick, you don't really notice.
If I pull the mattress protector properly, which a couple of times I haven't done and we have noticed it in the morning, that divot is there, and it really, like, our backs and hips are really bad. God, we sound like we're 80. But yeah, that works for us. That mattress topper is awesome. Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for sticking with us with that one. Grab yourself another one. You're probably 3 or 4 deep by now. But hey, crack it, sit down, and we're just going to run through a few things that we love about this van, a few things that we dislike about this van, and at the end of it, we'll tell you how much these vans cost and how much we paid for it, because we paid, should have put this at the start, full disclaimer, we paid full price for this van. We are by no means sponsored or have any affiliation with Altitude Campers.
No, we are not sponsored or have any affiliation with anyone. So we...
Hey, these guys, you want to get on board?
We will give you our full honest opinion, because, you know, we don't want to upset people, but at the same time, we think it's important as consumers to know what we like, what we don't like, and pass on that knowledge to other people. So I'm not on my phone being rude. I've written a list of things to make sure that we cover it all.
That we need to talk about.
Yes.
We'll try and keep it as short and sharp as possible.
Yeah. So the first thing is, obviously Laurie mentioned, this is an Altitude Ascent 13B. You can get a 13F, which the back doesn't pop out of, so it's literally just a 13-foot with a freestanding bed.
Yeah. You don't get much else inside there except a bed and a bench, but for some people that's all they want.
Yeah. We bought this from Van Hub in Caboolture. Van Hub have been nothing short of amazing. Yeah,
you hear some of the biggest gripes people have with this hybrid market, and some of the companies in the hybrid market. They might sell a half-decent product, but then as soon as the product's sold to you, that's it. They don't pick up the phone, they don't speak to you.
Wipe their hands.
I've had nothing but good dealings with both owners of Altitude Campers. Yep. They're always willing to pick up the phone, always willing to help, and their service centre is really good. He's really helpful.
Yeah,
I'd highly recommend them.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of little issues with this last service, and we've had a couple of warranty issues, but
they fixed it straight away.
Yeah,
and that most of them have only been minor. And like one major one was the water pump died, and we were in South Australia, but we had them on the phone. They were talking Laurie through possible solutions, and then we're like, oh, well, look, you go get a new one and we'll reimburse you. So you know, and there doesn't matter what the issue is, they will try and fix it straight away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Things we like about this camper.
Yes.
I love having a 13-foot van that pops out to a 16-foot van. We have the toilet and shower inside and basically a king-size bed, but we can still take it down some of the tightest tracks. I can still do a U-turn at a cul-de-sac. I don't get too nervous about, oh, I don't want to go down there because I don't know if I can turn around. Generally, if a car and a box trailer can turn around down there, I can turn around. So I love that about it.
I love that it has a shower and a toilet. That was my thing. We had a camper trailer previously, and we wanted an upgrade, especially with Blake, because setting up the camper trailer is an absolute pain in the ass.
Oh, it was a full soft floor, soft everything, so it was there was multiple divorces talked about setting it up.
So my thing was, if we're spending upwards of 40 grand, I need to have a shower and I need to be able to go to the toilet inside. I didn't want any of this portable toilet business. No.
Yeah, I've come very accustomed to it. We're basically dragging a toilet around with us, so when you're in some of those public toilets that you walk into and it kind of almost knocks your feet out from underneath you, well, you don't have to use that. You turn around and walk back to the van and use the van toilet. And
believe me, it took a lot of arm twisting to even get him to consider getting a caravan.
Well, yeah, it did. Other things we love. I love the no front toolbox. Mm-hmm. And I've since heard from other people that it's a bit of an issue when you tow with the ute with a tray. Tub, not so much of an issue, but with a tray, because the points or the corners of your back tray can puncture sort of the front skin if you're turning too sharply. But we have a wagon, we don't have a ute, so it's not an issue. And I love that setup. I love that it's all completely contained. Yeah. It's not a separate unit at all.
Yeah. The bed size, I love how big the bed is. Laurie loves how big the bed is.
King size beds for the win.
Yeah. I've wanted a king size bed in our bedroom forever, and now I think this has convinced him to get a king size bed in the bedroom.
Depends if Blake stays in the bed with us.
The pantry layout in the fridge slide.
Oh yeah, I said that when I opened the fridge.
Yeah.
I love a lot of places, they'll only give you sort of that little one we showed you as a pantry, and then you've got to use some of your inside storage for that, or you've got to use a bit of your tunnel boot. I love that there's a pantry attached to the fridge slide. Yeah. And who's going to put more than bigger than a 96 litre fridge in there, really? It just becomes impractical. So that would have been wasted space. Or you'd get bigger on this side of a tunnel boot. But yeah. Yeah. I love that.
As it is, it worked out perfectly for us.
Yeah.
So yeah. We both really liked that it had more quality accessories. Yes. So the shell itself is just your average Chinese hybrid shell that most of your baseline hybrids.
Oh, you'll see 1,000 of them driving down the road.
The thing that set Altitude apart for us was that they take some of the crappy Chinese stuff out and replace it with reputable, well-known, better stuff.
Like the kitchen I was talking about is Dometic. It comes with the DO35 hitch. Like the Cruise Master, if you're not familiar, is probably one of the best, if not the best, off-road hitch.
So easy.
And it is so easy to hook up and unhook. Comes with a ARC XO 500 jockey wheel, which is, again, a fairly quality off-road jockey wheel. I will say again, if that one does fail, we'll probably go to the 750 or even maybe a little bit bigger.
We've just found that the jockey wheel's sort of slightly bent a few times.
Yeah. But that's also our user error.
Yeah.
Like not having the stabilizer legs down, or trying to lift it with the rear stabilizer legs down, so it's trying to pick the whole front of the van up, which is too much weight for it. But you live and you learn, right?
Yeah. The aircon is reverse cycle Dometic.
Yeah, Dometic. And there's a Fatford Toilet. Yeah. You got your Truman 14 litre hot water, which isn't quite big enough. Now, this is a little trick that we learn on the road. It comes with a three-way switch.
Yeah,
so you got off.
Show you that inside.
You got off in the middle. Down is 70, up is 60 degrees. Yeah. Most people will tell you to put it to 60 degrees. Put it to 70. You use less hot water if the water's hotter. Yeah. Just that like mind blown.
Yeah. So that was my little trick that I figured out.
Yeah, on 60 degrees we use the whole 14 litre hot water tank and run out. Only one of us and Blake could have a shower, and the other one would either have to wait another 20 minutes before they can go into the shower or just not have one.
Yeah. And because we've just travelled south in winter, it was freezing.
Sometimes.
And usually when you're trying to conserve water when you're free camping or whatever, you turn the shower off and scrub yourself and then turn it back on.
Someone's not about that life.
I'm not about that life when it's like 2 degrees outside, sorry. And I worked out that if we put the hot water to 70 degrees, you can have it running the whole time and it's not going to run out of hot water for both of us and Blake to have a bath. Yeah. So put it to the 70 degrees.
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer to get hot, but once it's there, we don't even think about how long it takes to get hot. It's one of the first things we do when we pull up, and you're not having a shower till sort of the afternoon, and the first thing you know when there's hot water is you'll turn the sink tap on and you'll burn your fingers. Yeah, and you'll remember you turned it on.
It's really hot. Okay, things we dislike.
Things we dislike.
Sorry.
The inverter. Yeah, train of thought gone. I wish it just came wired to all the power points. Yep. I don't think that should be something that you have to go and do, or something special. And maybe that's something, maybe it is a common thing with these cheaper type vans, or maybe the inverter can't handle that. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm not a Sparky by any means.
Yeah.
It's just a little gripe of mine. When I turn the inverter on, we use the laptops to edit. Most of our stuff, well, some of our stuff is USB chargeable, but a lot of it needs 240, so yeah. Aircon under bed.
Yeah, the aircon under bed, that's the one that really, really gets me, because like we said, in that front box, the aircon doesn't reach the front box, so when it's cold, your head is freezing, and then when it's hot, the aircon doesn't cool it down. So it just doesn't efficiently cool the cabin down.
Yeah, you've got to kind of pre-think about it, and it took us a while to sort of really understand that it's not a diesel heater by any means, it's just a reverse cycle. So while it's still nice and warm during the middle of the day, it's sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, before it starts to get cool, we'd turn the heater on and just really toasty the van up. But then it would hold that heat a lot better than it would try and warm the van.
Yeah.
I guess with the canvas on the top and that the rear box all acting to cool it down. And again, everything in there is aluminium, like all the shelving and everything, which is great, but it also gets colder than what wood does. Yeah. So the aircon's got to work fairly hard to keep it, or to warm it up. So we just found it's easier to keep it at a certain temperature. So crank it right up when it's sort of still 25, 30 degrees during the day, and then it will hold that temperature a lot better.
Yeah. The tyres, we went through the tyres. They're stock standard cheap ones that come with the vans.
I just wish I got more than 15,000 k's out of a set of tyres.
And we'll upgrade them.
Yeah, when I scrub through all 4 of them, or when these set are due for a change,
which will probably be
I'll put some all-terrains on there or something that's going to last a little bit longer.
The awning.
The awning
of contention.
I can't wait for it to snap off and me replace it with just a canvas 270 degree awning. One, to get some cover over that back there. You love the awning, however.
I like the ease of the electric awning.
Push a button and it sets itself up.
It's so easy. I get wanting a 270 degree awning. I want that as well. But I really like having the electric awning. And I don't know if that's just because it's a novelty, or if it's because we've come from a camper trailer where the awning was a pain in the ass to set up. And it literally took us longer to set the awning up than it did to set the actual trailer up.
Oh yeah.
But I really like the awning.
I guess while we're sitting here, and I mentioned the lightweight trailer, we'll talk weights. So this trailer comes with a tear weight of between 1,950 kilos and, oh, Mozzie's having a feast, and 2,100 kilos. So we have the 13B, which is on Altitude's website, has the tear weight at 2,100 kilos. Our compliance plate, however, says 1,950. So I can't give you an accurate answer. Hang around a little bit, and I will be able to give you an accurate answer of how much this van does weigh.
Yeah.
Sort of unpacked at its tear weight. It's the aggregated trailer mass comes standard out of the showroom at 2,500 kilos. Which doesn't give you a lot of payload if you are at the 2,100. If you get the B, you get 300, 400 kilos of payload, which really, by the time you fill 300 litres of water, or 200 litres of water, and you put some beers in your fridge, you're basically done.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how frequently they are doing this, but I spoke to the owner there, and he was more than happy to up my aggregated mass to 2,800 kilos, which was as simple as he put a new compliance plate on there, and I went to Rego and it got registered at 2,800 kilos, which gives us a much better payload.
like Laurie said, it's an alley frame, so it is nice
Completely
and light.
aluminium frame, yeah.
We have read as well on a couple of forums that some of the wooden frame fans, they've had issues with water leakage and wood rot. Thankfully, that is something we never have to worry about.
No.
That's the last thing I'd want to have to worry about.
Yes.
Would we recommend?
Would we recommend?
100%
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I would
Yeah.
recommend. Are there better hybrids on the market? Depends what you're into. It absolutely, there is, as you're all probably aware, the hybrid market is so,
Flooded.
yeah, it's absolutely flooded. And really, you've just got to walk into however many companies are around your area or go to your camping and caravanning shows and go get in them and see for yourself the difference in build quality from stepping into one and out of the other. Because from the outside, they look the same.
So we did a lot of research. Obviously, you want to. It's a lot of money. It's a big investment.
Yeah, bloody hell, it's a lot of money.
And especially being on a pension and on maternity leave, it's a lot of money. And we paid for it outright. So again, we wanted to make sure that it was something that
Don't
we
want
really,
loans. Hate loans.
something that we really loved. For us, it came down to these guys,
And Jawa.
Oztrack and Jawa. So the Oztrack, we really liked the look of the Tanami. And we nearly had one because they
13.
we nearly ended up getting one because they could have got us one in quickly. We could have had the one on their showroom floor.
Yeah.
And then we walked out of Oztrack and realised that these guys were across the road and walked into their showroom and ended up getting in.
And as we said, the 2-week wait, and I was like, well, it's either drive away with one sort of in the next day or two, or wait 2 weeks. For something that, I said we weren't going to name names, but we did.
Sorry.
The build quality was just...
Next level.
It was so much. And anybody that's owned a Tanami or an Oztrack knows that it's the small finishes, the silicon jobs and all those little things that you just think was done on a Friday afternoon with everybody wanting to consume a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was more like a Wednesday build where people were just in there doing the job.
And we've seen that that's been an issue with quite a number of hybrids. Just the finish, not just Oztrack, but quite a number of them.
Yeah.
Just the finishes weren't.
But
not up
Oztrack
to
almost had
scratch.
us with all its inclusions though. You get a lot for your money there.
You do. We really, really loved the Jawas. They were really nice, but they were just a little bit more expensive.
And also had an 8-month wait.
Yeah, their wait time
They're
was just
very,
too
very
long.
popular, and it's for a good reason.
They are really, really good. So if you're in the market looking for a hybrid, I can highly recommend the Jawas because they were really good.
Sounds like we don't recommend Altitude, but we do.
This van for us, for our lifestyle, for our
budget.
purposes, for our budget, for our wait time, the time frame that we wanted, it was perfect.
And we, as I said, so we'll go through a couple of the issues I've had because I can cut and splice this.
Yeah.
When we first got it, took it to Double Island. I don't think I've even talked about this because it was a warranty issue. Anyway, took it to Double Island, drove up the beach, did the freshwater track into Rainbow Beach, the township. Anybody that's done that, Rainbow Beach is the access point to Fraser Island. It gets a lot of traffic and a lot of people come in and out through Inskip Point there. So it has a fairly substantial car wash with a good underbody wash on it, because obviously people spend a fair bit of time on Fraser and then they come off and as soon as possible they want to wash their car. And we put the car through the underbody wash, dragged the van over the top and did the underbody wash on that. We have a breakaway box for the brakes on the front. It's not internal in the van or it's not sealed away somewhere. It's just in a front box. It got water into it and it locked the brakes on. Us being newbies at towing, never towed a van, never used a Tow Pro Elite. Drove it out of Rainbow Beach and got on the road between Rainbow Beach and Gympie. And if anybody knows that road, it's very windy and sort of very limited areas to pull over or overtake or do anything on. And I started noticing that the Tow Pro was sort of flashing orangey red. He wasn't doing what it should. Couldn't figure out what was going on, and this is where I take my hat off to the Jeep because I didn't even notice, but the brakes on this were locked on. And I dragged it for about 10 to 15 kilometres before we found a spot to pull over.
There was just nowhere safe.
And by the time we pulled over, there was some smoke billowing out of it.
Yeah, it was bad.
We rung Van Hub that night, or the next morning, sorry.
It was like 8 o'clock at night, so it was a bit too late.
Yeah, and that was a Friday, or maybe it was a Monday, and it was in the next day, fixed all under warranty, and they said they'd never had that issue before. But yes, the breakaway box isn't sealed, and maybe the water coming up from the bottom at that pressure and those angles, it's not used to, because we've driven it through rain, we've done a couple of creek crossings, we've done a heap of stuff in it now, and we've never had that issue again. And the box hasn't been changed, so we had that issue. And the water pump, as you were talking about.
The water pump, yeah. And they've
all fixed
straight away
with zero complaints.
Yeah.
And no issues.
Yeah, like Laurie said before, we have heard, and you watch YouTubers and they say it too, that the after, like once you get your van, the company doesn't care. You've given them your money, they've given you the product, wipe hands, done. These guys
do not.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know if it's just the way they are, because they are really, really nice guys. Or if it's because they are a little company and they can't afford to do that. Whatever it is,
they are only just starting, and they do have some really nice Aussie-made stuff too. If you're in the market, they do a Jono's Extreme, an Alpine, and an Iconic.
Yeah, and
there may be more, but that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah,
and they all are sort of right in amongst the top for their class.
Yeah,
like
so Van Hub itself has a showroom, and then they also do all the servicing there. So we take it in for any warranty issues, any servicing. It's all there on site, all through Van Hub. So it's not just here's your van, go find someone to service it. It's kind of like a little family. It's bring it back, we'll take care of it.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it is really nice. So we would, purely for the after sales care, we would recommend them.
And I have recommended them to a few people.
Yeah.
Who have been talking about it. Can you tell them the price?
Yeah, so we paid 40.
Don't look at me, I can't remember. I just gave you the money.
I think it was 47.
About the 47 mark.
Yeah.
Which, that's all on roads, registered for a year, gas bottles full.
Yeah.
That was reverse up. They take your ball hitch out, screw your DO35 in. See you later, happy days.
Yeah.
Driving down the highway, ready to go on holidays.
Yeah, and that was, we had it, well, it was already coming with an options pack as well. So that had extra solar, extra water, extra blah, 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 blah.
Would highly recommend. And final conclusions on the van are, we love it.
Yep. Very, very happy with it.
It's really broken us both into this caravanning market. I don't think I could ever go back. The next part is I just want sort of a bit more room inside, because 13 foot gets small when there's 3, and who knows, in the future we could have 7 kids. It's going to get real tight in there.
Yeah.
So a little bit more space inside.
But for our first van, for
doing what we want to do
from
with
a swag to a really base model camper trailer.
I've still got my swag.
Still got your swag. Base model camper trailer to this, it's a perfect starting point, because it has showed us what we like, what we dislike, what we do next time, and
100%.
You know.
Anyway, guys, that's well and truly enough waffling. Stick around for the next one. It will probably be weights. We've got a weight guy coming tomorrow for us, and we're going to do a full left and right, backwards and forwards, GVM, GCM, car, trailer, the whole shebang.
So just
learn with us, because we don't really know. I understand the acronyms a little bit. I can kind of get my head around it, but first time, as we said.
So just to ease a bit of confusion, we are back in Brisbane. We've been back in Brisbane for probably 2 or 3 weeks. We probably should have said this at the start of the video. We've been back in Brisbane for 2 or 3 weeks, but we haven't finished uploading our southern trip yet. So we thought we'd throw this video in kind of in between the southern trips. So you'll probably see the Florida Way video next or the one after, but we really wanted to get this out because we have had a couple of people really interested in the altitudes and wanting to know about the inside, about the fit out, about what we think.
Just always been too busy on the road to get it done as well.
That, and we really wanted to wear it in. We wanted to see how it went on some of those really outback, crappy roads, like the Bearsville track, and it's been a dream.
I didn't want to tell you the van was all hunky-dory and only have driven it up and down the highway.
Yeah, we wanted to wear it in.
Lived in it for 2.5 months, done 12,000, 11,000 Ks in it. Yeah. I think I've got a pretty good understanding of it, and I feel like I'm qualified enough to tell you what's good and what's not.
Yeah, so that's the reason why we didn't want to jump in and do it straight away. We wanted to be able to give you a thorough review.
Yeah. And stick around, guys, it only gets more and more exciting. We're about to head off after this weigh check's done,
Yay.
if everything's all good and we're not well and truly overweight and we've got to rethink everything, sell the car and buy a Ram, then we're going north. We're going to go chase some warm weather.
I'm so
But
excited.
that's just like a little teaser. Yeah.
Alright guys, stick around.
I'm completely empty. Bye.